Get ready with me while I challenge your perception and my own perception of what is real. What if it wasn't that person that was the problem? What if it wasn't the generational karma? What if it wasn't the way someone is showing up that is the problem? What if instead it was your own inability to regulate to the emotions that you desire to feel? What if it was your perception of that person, of that place, of that thing that made you feel the way you feel? Not the thing itself, but the way that you are perceiving the thing. Let me give you a very specific example. A lot of the time when we're saying, I don't like the way this person does this and I don't want to be around them because they do this like this, what you're really saying is that you don't trust yourself enough to be around that person without engaging in those behaviors that they're engaging in, even though you know that's not you. What you're saying is that you don't have the autonomy to show up and be in spaces where not everyone is exactly like you. What you're actually saying is that you don't have the self-trust to co-regulate with something else despite what's in front of you. And this is exactly why you don't get the things that you want, because of your inability to remain sovereign in situations where there is conflict, where there isn't resonance. If you felt confident about who you really are, you wouldn't feel threatened by someone who's showing up in a way that doesn't match who you feel you really are. You also wouldn't feel threatened by someone commenting on you from a perception of who you don't believe yourself to be. Okay, so I said I was going to give you a really specific example. So a lot of the time, our perception is actually what dictates how people in our world will show up for us. So if we have a perception that, like, oh, even if it's the truth, oh, this person has these emotions, this person is going through this person is this. So like, say you have a perception that someone struggles with money, and then you live based off of that perception every single time you're around them. Not only are you limiting their expansion and their growth, you're also confining yourself to only have interactions with that person in that way, in the avatar of them showing up in that way. When you decide, oh, this person could have a great relationship with money, like this person could feel really good about giving me money, this person could love money, whatever it may be. When you're open, that's what gives people the room to come in the door differently. That's what gives people the room to come and show you a different aspect, a different version of themselves. But when you have these limitations about who someone can be, who someone is, you're limiting their expression. And by default, you're limiting your own expression to consciously create the world around you and pull out the best parts of every single individual as they enter your sphere. Boom! Your capacity to say, okay, this person has a history of doing that, but also I feel like this person could show up differently in any given moment, is your capacity, one, to regulate to the unknown, and two, to hold the highest vision possible for you and everyone involved. The moment that you stop basing things off of the past is the moment that you fully drop into the present moment and allow people to fully, authentically express based on the present moment, not based on the past. So I'm going to share with you how I came to this conclusion. I have had a relationship with like my family members in the past where I'm like, oh, like they are this way, and so this is why we don't get along. The moment that I threw that out the door, the moment that I said, oh, like they can change at any moment and so can I, is the moment they started showing up differently. Is the moment that there was less pressure on the relationship because they're not confined to showing up in one specific way. They can show up however they want, and also they're going to show up based on the energy that I'm emitting. So the more that I work on myself, the more that allows them to show up as a higher version of themselves. Not because I'm doing anything and not because I'm like making them do that, but because My frequency is different, and I'm not placing limitations on who they can be. This will change your relationships. And it will also take you out of the victim complex, because then there's no reason to blame anybody else, because it's all you. It's all based on how you're showing up. It's all based on how you hold the perceptions of the world around you. It has nothing to do with anybody else except for you. So when you take responsibility for how you perceive other people and you choose to be objective in your perception, you're going to open the door for people to show up for you differently, to show up for themselves differently, and you can even attract the worst people to show up differently in your auric field because of the energy that you're holding and the lack of expectations that you have. That lack of expectations is actually the portal for the unexpected to happen. The unexpected is them showing up and them being in a whole different mind state about money, or them showing up and being in a whole different mind state about how they perceive you. Your world is literally just mirroring back to you how you feel about yourself and the perceptions and beliefs that you hold in your body and in your mind. The moment that you let go of those perceptions and those beliefs and you just allow yourself to be in the present moment, which you do by accepting everything as it is right now without needing to change it, no expectations on having it change, no expectations on how it is, just letting it be, bro, you will change the fucking world, starting with yourself. And truly, the world is just a reflection of you. So you will not only change yourself, you'll not only better everyone around you, you're gonna change the fucking world by default, simply by choosing to show up differently. That's like the cheapest hack for changing your reality ever.